Hello, today we're going to be talking about the Districts trailer that came out the other day, and through that a lot of new information was shown, particularly about the areas in the city, and there was one that has never been shown before called Lewis Springs, and we don't know if it's accessible, but we're surely going to talk about that, so let's get into it. First one is Pointe Verdun. It shows it. As we know, Pointe Verdun showed a lot of information lately that it's the Irish district, and a particular place called Duffy's Pub is located there. So, and Burke's Scrapyard. So it's primarily an Irish area, and through this trailer we learned that there's a moonshine kind of ring going on through it. And we've seen this photo before, as we've seen it on the Pointe Verdun newspaper article. It showed a picture of this Sweetwater truck and a couple of people putting some bottles into it. It looks harmless, but it's actually moonshine, and obviously you know that's illegal. So, but it wasn't much shown in Pointe Verdun, seeing as we've got a lot of information already about it. So we're gonna have a look at what it is. It's an Irish populated area. Well, we've already covered that in previous videos. So a lot of Burke's men live here, and there's, people all around the area are Irish. Obviously, there's a legal moonshine ring controlled by Marcano, or one of his lieutenants that runs the area. That's primarily where they get their illegal flow. Burke's Scrapyard is here. Once again, that's already been covered, and it's a working class area, so mainly the people in the area will be like working, so it's not going to be like middle class where you'll have the luxuries of cinemas or different kinds of shops. It's going to be a pretty rundown area, but not as bad as the poverty-ridden areas. So next is Frisco Fields. Once again, I've made another video highlighting all the important information about Frisco Fields, so I'm not going to talk about it very much. You can go to that video to have a look, and there's showing little scenes of it. It's a very racist area. I like this scene in particular because it just shows that the white people in the area are very racist towards Lincoln. As you see, this woman on the right, she's disgusted in seeing him, and she thinks that he's going to steal her bag or something, because the black people are thought to be like savages in this area, seen as it's a upper class, middle class, rich district. And you can see that Giorgio Marcano is walking with Lincoln, so it's obviously that they've known each other before he got shot in the head by him. And this could possibly lead on to the next part where Sal Marcano is welcoming someone. And this could be possibly Lincoln and Sammy Robinson. He's welcoming them, and probably going to be talking about what they obviously don't accept, like some deal or some truce or something that they don't accept, leading to them all getting massacred by Marcano. And you can see Vito in the background, so he's creeping there. You can just see him in the corner. It's not really... I had to actually stop the video a couple of times to try and get this screen cap because it goes past so fast. And I really think that this could possibly be where Lincoln meets Vito, seeing as he doesn't really know him personally, and this could be where he gets the contact of Vito for him to join his family. So next is, well, this is just my theory or my interpretation of this scene. To me, this person here looks a lot like Vito, and he's died, obviously, as Lincoln puts his eyes down, seeing as that's like a respectable way for someone to die. And you can see the scar on his chin there, like the same as Vito's, and, well, his hair is kind of dark, but this could obviously be the shade or the shadow, making it not as grey as Vito's. But I really think that this could be Vito dying. As much as I don't want to accept it, this could possibly be one of the endings of Vito dying, but once again, I haven't played the game, so this could be anyone. Anyone that's got a scar on the chin, they're pretty old, and they've got dark hair. Anyway, next is Southdowns, as it shows you, because we've never really had any information about Southdowns, so we didn't really know what it was or what it looked like. And today we got, well, not today, but we got information about Southdowns, the criminal rings, and also what Southdowns actually looks like, because this is the first time we've seen it. It looks like a middle class area. You can see the gazebo, the stone gazebo in the middle. That's kind of a park. You've got hot dog vendors, you've got classy looking cars like that convertible there, and may I say most of the people there are white, so obviously this is going to be like a middle class area, seeing as the African Americans weren't welcomed into them kind of neighborhoods. around that time. So next is it shows the Fight Club, which is in Southdowns, which thought it was in the Bayou, but obviously I was wrong. It's actually in Southdowns. This will be a fight club that Lincoln can participate in, fighting other fighters for money, or it could be to get near Dominic, who is, well, I think is the lieutenant of Southdowns. So it shows you Dominic and Lincoln in Southdowns, like the Southdowns part of the trailer. So obviously it wouldn't show you them two there, or it would have showed you them two in a different part of the trailer if they weren't in Southdowns, if that made any sense. So here is the summary. So there's a legal gambling ring, of course. There's the Fight Club, as I've just shown you. Lincoln can participate in that. Possibly led by Dominic. Don't really know, but I really think that he could possibly be leading that area, middle class area and a residential area. So there's going to be some houses. There's going to be some leisure areas like cinemas and whatever other leisure things the city has to offer inside of Southdowns, seeing as it's primarily a white neighborhood and it's a middle class, so it's not too shabby. So next we've got River Row. As we know from the trailers, River Row is a shithole. Basically, it's got shacks and it's a working class area, so there's going to be like some industry kind of things in the area, but it's not going to be too industrial as Barclay Mills or Tickfaw Harbour. And this is currently the home of the Marcano family. This is where Marcano grew up. He was born in the shit stain part of the city and then grew to the best part of the city, which would be Frisco Fields. And this is some information that I've just learned today from the Vito trailer. Vito is actually in control of River Row for Marcano, so he is the lieutenant of River Row until he jumps ships to Lincoln, and then who knows, he could have possibly been given. No, Marcano could have given River Row to another one of his lieutenants. We don't know. So here is the summary. So it's a poverty / working class. So a lot of people in the area will currently be working at either the cannery factory or a different kind of business to provide for the family. It's also a kind of an industrial area, seeing as it's got factories in the area, but it's also got homes and it's got different other little businesses around. So it's not really an industrial area, but it kind of is in a way. Home place for Marcano, him and his brother Lou, and whatever other brothers and sisters he's got, were born in River Row, in one of them little shacks that are shown in the trailer. And finally, a drug smuggling ring is operated out of the docks in River Row. Obviously, as Vito is the lieutenant, he'll be in control of that. So, another one, Barclay Mills. I'm going to be honest, I don't think Barclay Mills is going to be that important in the game or the story. It's just, it hasn't shown you that much information about Barclay Mills, but what we do know is that it's an industrial area. It only showed you a little tiny bit of Barclay Mills in the trailer. Don't know why. It showed you more of the other districts than this one. And this is kind of the only image we have of it. Like, as you can see, that's probably a kind of coal factory. As you can see, you've got the factory there. And that's really it. There's got to be... it's kind of a working class area, because obviously the people are going to have to go and work inside of that factory. So, and I'm thinking that it's not okay to live in, seeing as a newspaper article from like a couple of videos ago, I can't really remember where, saying that Barclay Mills got hit by the hurricane really badly, so most of the houses in the area are still actually recovering from the flooding, so they're pretty beat up. But obviously they're not going to be as bad as River Row. Or I could be wrong, it could be worse than River Row. So what I can get from that is the industrial area and a poverty / working class area. So next is Tickfaw Harbour. Obviously it's in the name, it's going to be a harbour. And seeing as it's fucking huge on the map, it's one of the biggest districts in the whole of the game. But primarily all this is just going to be shipping containers and fucking ships. But a lot of illegal stuff goes on in Tickfaw Harbour, so let's have a look into that. There is a picture of Tickfaw Harbour. We've got a ship on the left, shipping containers in the middle, cranes, just an average harbour that you'd find. But obviously, down at the bottom right, you can see steps, and there's a boat, so obviously you can get some access for a boat there, in case you need a boat to go and do whatever you want to do. Don't know what sick stuff you like to get up to on a boat. But moving on, yeah, is the Tickfaw smuggling operation. As you can see, they obviously get the stuff from the crates. We don't know what the smuggling could be. Drugs, could be weapons. They get them from the crates, put them in the back of that truck, and obviously haul them as something else. I can't really make out what it says on there. It says Holland Bros. I don't know what Holland Bros sells, but obviously the cops are going to be thinking that that's a Holland Bros crate, so they're not going to really have a look into that, so it looks very innocent. Next is the Tickfaw organ trade. This one is kind of sick. You've got someone cutting up a worker. As you can see, he's missing a friggin' leg down at the bottom right, and they're actually selling these organs to people. I don't know why Marcano is involved in that, but that is kind of some sick shit. But I'm guessing that the female lieutenant of the Marcano syndicate, I don't know her name, if you know it, comment. She is control of Tickfaw Harbour. There was a picture of in a couple of trailers ago. She's got blood in her hand. She looks pretty fascinated by that, so I was just making an educated guess that if she likes blood, then she would love the organ trade. So here's Tickfaw Harbour's summary. One of the biggest districts in the whole of the game. Yeah, drug smuggling or weapons ring through the trucks. Legal organ trade, so they're cutting off people's limbs and selling them on the black market. Industrial area, seeing as it's a harbour. And it is possibly led by the female lieutenant in the Marcano syndicate. Once again, no concrete evidence, but that is just a theory of mine. Moving on to the next one. But before we get there, I wanted to show you this guy. We've seen this guy before, but we couldn't really make out his name because it's really blurry. Like, it doesn't look loaded, but it seems like the creators have done that on purpose, so we can't really find out who he is. But we have seen him before, because I saw his face, I was like, oh, I've seen him before. But that was a couple of trailers ago when John Donovan is in the conference in front of the people, and there's a hierarchy of the Marcano syndicate in the back, and you can see the guy on the clipboard to the bottom left, the same hat, same face, obviously, and he is one of Marcano's lieutenants, but obviously we don't know which lieutenant he is, what area he controls. He could control either Barclay Mills or the new area that we've discovered, Lewis Springs. It's a countryside-based area, and obviously it's going to be a spring, so a spring often sends water down along land, beginning a river, so it's going to be a huge river, either streaming through it or past it. So yeah, it's going to be to the left. I think that is kind of a, I don't really know, like some kind of quarry area or something. It seems like a factory, but I don't really know, if I'm going to be honest. But people tend to think that this is like kind of a, like out of the map, as in Mafia 2 you had taken place in Italy in World War II. Like, people are saying that that is the map for Lincoln's past of him being in the army in Vietnam, but I don't really think Lewis Springs would be a perfect name for a Vietnamese jungle or a fucking spring in Vietnam. Just a smart guess there. And there's an unfinished bridge, so we don't really know if we can get there, or this could possibly be a location for a DLC. Seeing as it's an unfinished bridge, there's got to be some way over it. We could possibly take a boat, or there could be a jump on the bridge, like in GTA. But that is really it for that trailer. There's a lot of information that we've learned about the districts, and particularly subscribe and like for some more, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Meaning that he is not allowed to return to the Mafia, and he's been cast